Hello, good evening everyone. Hi. Magandang gabi sa lahat. Let me see if you are, please let me know. Hindi ko nakikita yung comments nyo ata dito. Where you are from, sino yung kasama natin ngayon. I want to know if if it's all Filipinos or there are other people, no, na kailangan naka-English. So, ayan, medyo malakas ang aking good evening, Janelle. Ayan. Okay. Is it Dean or Dine? Yeah. Jackie, good evening. Yes, good evening. So, magandang gabi sa inyo lahat. I'm back. I'm back in the Philippines after more than 1 month of being away. And kaya siguro I've been a little bit Petra and Erica. Okay, so I have to speak in English. There are people who are not Filipino here, so okay. Hello, Erica and Petra. Good evening. And Marie, hello, good evening. And Robin, thank you very much for joining me in today's discussion about the plant medicine, plants that teach, awaken, and heal. And this is the part 2. Good evening, Mary Rose. And I would like to also share my experiences, my new experiences in Peru. So if you want to watch the part 1, so I'm gonna post it now, the link, so you can watch it later, no? Yan. So yan ang ating that's our first it's the link to the first part of the plant medicine. Hello, A. Hello, good evening to everyone. So let's start this discussion with some form of Icaros. I have a rattle here that also came from Peru, and we will use this rattle. The rattle is a tool not only by the curanderos, but also a rattle is like a shamanic tool, you know. So for those students of the Philippine Academy of Intuitives who are going to shamanism, you will learn, I think the shamanism initiation course will be, I think, end of April before May. Yeah. So if you finish the intuitive development course and you had solved some cases, then you get entitled to the shamanic initiation. And the rattle is usually to help cut energy. Yeah, if you see and feel, the music of the rattle. I don't know how it sounds to you. It cuts the energy. It breaks, the energy of the space or of your subtle body. There's another tool called chakapa, which is usually used in the plant medicine ceremonies. And it's a bunch of plants and a bunch of leaves tied together. And this is also used for cleansing, but on a different principle. So let's just focus on hearing the rattle so that we can break anything in our energetic system, in our space, energies that might be blocking us, barring us from receiving and participating, being present in this discussion about the plant medicine, the plant spirit. Hello, Evelina, I see you from Sweden. Just feel And listen. Direct it to any part of the body that might be constricted, heavy. Limpiano, limpiano, Padre Tita, limpiano, limpiano, limpia, limpia, energía. Limpianos, limpia, limpia, energía. Con la luz, con amor, el divino. Los fuertes, limpianos, limpia, limpia, fuertecitos, limpianos, limpia, limpia, con espacio. Ábrete, corazón. Ábrete, corazón. Gran Espíritu. I hope that helped clear some of the energies. I feel the clearing. So thank you for letting me do that. So let's jump right into our topic. So I was trying to watch the, let me know how you felt, after like listening and feeling, listening and hearing the rattle and the Icaro. It's an Icaro that was given to me initially by cacao, and then kind of like transcended to other plant medicines. And I sing that in the ceremonies. And whenever I sing that in the ceremonies, like the energies just, they clear up. So, so the Icaro is something that I explained in the first part of this discussion, which was last year, that it's a sacred melody or a song, which is actually a vibration or a frequency that is gifted from a plant, to the person connected to the plant, and it's used. Oh, thank you, Evelina. And it's kind of like used for different purposes. Like, for example, this was given to me by cacao, and she told me like to sing this Icaro whenever I kind of like want to clear or clear the cacao when I cook the cacao. And kind of like it developed into like, oh, then you can use this to clear the space. Oh, then you can use this to clear the energies of other people. So kind of like it developed into something. So so that the Icaro is like a gift. The thing is, the plants, whether it's a teacher plant or not, they always kind of communicate through frequency and vibration. And we think that the plants are, stationary, they don't do anything or something like that. There's technology that is now proving how the plants can actually sing. And with the right kind of anodes and cathodes and whatnot. There's actually like one of the things that I know that I'm trying to procure is called Plant Wave, where they put the you put the electrical things on the plant, and then it kind of like has a way to kind of play the melody the plant was giving. It was amazing. They tried it to different plants, and the latest that they tried it to mushrooms, and the mushrooms are just like out of this world, their music. So plants usually, um, regardless if it's a tree or a grass, they emit frequency and sound and vibration, which, if we use our spiritual ears or psychic ears, or even our hearts, we feel it as a song, yeah, or a song, and that's what you call the ikaro, yeah, and the ikaro, uh, kind of like is a vibration that that curandera or shaman produces to either call the plant, ask the plant to heal you, or do healing or protect the space. So it's like different kinds. So that's the Icaro. I think I discussed that in the first part, but I just wanted to kind of uh, review a little. So welcome to tonight's discussion. And as I said, I wanted to really share my experience coming from the Amazon recently. And it's been a wonder. Every time I go there, it's always like a wonderful, amazing experience for me. And there's always a miracle for some reason that comes, that I experience, like going there. And I could really say that I do hope, the that plant medicine and this practice and the land of Peru will be safe and preserved for long, because whatever that is there that's being preserved and being shared to the world is something that we really need at this moment. So thank God that the Incas, some of the Incas, run and hide when the Spanish came, and so they were able to preserve this practice of the plant medicine. Yeah, I've been to Peru for the 3 times already, so this was the third time, and every time I think I shared also the first two um, trips there. Usually I just come there for a dieta, and this is the first time that I came for a dieta and a tour to the other mystical places, and it's even more amazing to go to those mystical places as well. Yeah. So in majority of the people are only aware now, I feel, because of Netflix, because of uh, media and social media. A lot of people are kind of getting the hang of or being introduced to ayahuasca. Ayahuasca is really an introductory plant, and just recently I've been amazed by how, like, two of my friends who you would never ever ever think of them be into the plant medicine, one day coming up to me and talking to me about how they're interested in ayahuasca because they watched one film about it. It is now kind of being inserted in movies, and the documentaries also help. So there is an amazing explosion of this path and this practice to everyone. And the reason why this is so, I believe, is that, Earth is ascending, and Earth is a living and conscious being. And that because of her ascension, like she's going up in terms of her spiritual evolution as well. I don't know about you, but for me, I really have a connection with earth, and I feel that she's a living, breathing being of which I'm a part of, and my body is a part of that. And whenever I feel really down and low, I connect with Mother Earth, for me to be able to cope up with the stress in life and mundane in general. And the thing is, once it, because she is ascending and spiritually also evolving as a living being, and us with our bodies also connected, our bodies come from Mother Earth. Our vessels come from Mother Earth, that we also need to somehow adapt to her evolution, and she wants to share that. And so she shares that through these plants, these teacher plants. She shares that DNA, that this information, this is a new consciousness. And so once we take in these plants and connect with these plants, we also kind of get upgraded by it, isn't it? It's how wonderful Mother Earth is. She's sharing these codes of how you can survive in the new consciousness where she is in. And that's the reason why there are a lot of people like that can like have difficulty in adapting to the present environment of the present conditions of Earth. And there are people who are like very much adapted. I just recently met a man who I believe, kind of lived in a just in the wilderness. He facilitated. I had a Temazcal session with him. Temazcal is like a sweat lodge. Native Americans have that, and of course the curanderos, especially the Mexicans, they also have their own way of doing temazcal or sweat lodge. So I did that. It was very hard. I thought I would die, and it was prepared for it. But the man who facilitated it, Adrian, was like, if you could look at him, it felt like he hasn't. He's like if you look at him and you see the environment, it seems like he's part of the environment, like he blends it so well. It's just, but his eyes, you would see in his eyes how alive and present and well he is. He's not sick, but his body feels and seems to be like part of mother of the nature of the nature background. That's how amazing, that it's something like I could only dream of, being so well adapted to Earth. Because in reality, that's our difficulty. Our difficulty is adapting to our environment. And why do we need houses? Why do we need to cook our food? Yeah, where other animals, they don't. It's because we have so disconnected with our environment. We're so disconnected with Earth, with our with that connection with Mother Earth. And so now that Mother Earth is ascending and continues to ascend, and we take the plants, when we take the new, and this is not just the ordinary plants, the plants that are designated as teacher plants. Every plant in the plant kingdom, they have designation. They're plants that heal, physically, emotionally. They're plants that heal psychologically, and they're plants that guide and teach. The plants of the children of Gaia, or the children of Earth, and they have different designations. So ayahuasca, San Pedro are mostly part of these with this designation that is called as a master plant or a teacher plant, and they teach and they heal and they awaken people through the DNA and the information that they share to us. And So that's the reason why when we connect with them in ceremony, there is a transfer, there is a conversation happening, regardless if it's conscious or not conscious. Yeah. So ayahuasca is a very good connector. She's like the start. And most often my friend Naisha would tell people, and I hear this, and I want to quote this because it's not from me, it's from her, that ayahuasca is like the general practitioner of the plants. And most people are stuck with her, meaning like, oh, ayahuasca is the big deal. Yeah, she's the big deal because she connects. But ayahuasca is not the only teacher plant. And there are a lot of other amazing plants that may not be psychedelic, doesn't have any psychedelic effect, doesn't have like, but they also have a lot of healing and teaching that can impart to us. And so this is what you call the other master plot. So um, the aside from San Pedro or Wachuma, aside from this is peyote, this is the peyote spirit, aside from ayahuasca, and even aside from the niños called the mushrooms, the bufo is the highest DMT quality of DMT that you can take. It's even higher than ayahuasca in terms of like, yeah, and there's also iboga. So all of these plants that have psychoactive or psychedelic properties are all there to kind of teach and guide you and open the door for you to the other realm. They're door openers. But there are also plants that are, let's say, specialists. So that's the term Naisha uses. The specialists are the ones that take care of the different things or the different things that you need to either heal, to either ascend, or to either awaken. Yeah. And so these plants you can only take in a different setting, not only in ceremony. And these plants are what you call, and this process is called a diet or a dieta. And whenever I say to a person, you need a diet, a plant diet, and they were thinking like, yeah, but I'm vegetarian, they would say. And I said, it's a different kind of diet. It's not, it's not a vegetarian diet. The diet, and I also explained this in the first part. Diet is going into isolation, taking away all the chemicals, all the things, the noise, the psychic garbage, everything, being in nature, and just connecting with the plant by taking the plant. And that entails sometimes months to do, and sometimes it I was lucky in sometimes you don't eat 3 meals a day. Sometimes you just eat 1 meal, and there should be no salt because the salt cuts the process. And sometimes you're lucky to have a good hygienic apparatuses, or sometimes you just you do your hygiene in nature. Yeah. So that's the diet, until that the plant can connect with you and teach you or heal you. So of course it's in concept. I'm just introducing that concept. So let me tell you my story. In the part 1, I told you the story of how I went to the first diet, where the first dieta after like this initiation that Naisha gave me. But actually I went there because I wanted to heal. I was kind of really sick at that time. I had lumps on my breast and I knew what it was. And if I go to the doctor, I knew what the doctor would tell me because I worked in the pharmaceutical. And long decades ago, I was the one like peddling chemotherapy to doctors. So chemotherapy drug. Yeah, I know it's hard. It's worse. And by twists of fate, I knew the signs and symptoms. So that's the reason why it was by grace, because I didn't have money at the time or work at that time. By grace, I was able to find a way to go to Peru. And a month of diet, coming back, I was stronger than ever. The lumps in my breast were gone, and like I was able to find a new um, way, a new path. I was clearer than ever, and and so I was uh, really, I feel I really was given a second chance in life. And so the next time, the next day, the next year, I also went there for 3 months. And then I in the third month, I had a one-on-one like diet with the Shipibo Maestra. It's just me and her in the jungle. And even if I don't know how to speak Quechua, her language, we're just like signaling through sign language. And but she was kind of like helping, making me diet plants that can help me protect myself, because at that time, that the second time I came there in Peru, like all of the other curanderos kind of were attacking me, because I was kind of like a newbie in holding spaces and doing ceremonies. So they're all attacking me every time in the ceremony. Energetically, the spirit will come. They will come to Naisha and tell her like, I will kill your psychic, that. And I would feel it. This energy would kind of like choke me, and choke me to, I feel, I don't know if it's to my breath, to death or whatever. And so like there are things like that. And so they decided that like maybe I could have like a much more deeper, profound diet with plants that protect me. Yeah. So, but then what I kind of like got from it was more than the protection. Like the plants were like starting to give me like songs and Icaros nonstop. So that was my experience. Like they tell, like nonstop. It was like always in the 10 days I was in that diet, dieting 3 plants like Ayauma, Remo Caspi, and Awasquera. I was like nonstop with like my notebook was filled with a lot of all these things, a lot of Icaros. So yeah. Then after that, I wasn't able to go back to Peru, but then Naisha came to the Philippines, and I wanted to share the diet, because I have a team here in the Philippines where it would be nice if when we do ceremonies together that they would be stronger, and they would also have plant allies that will help us to hold the space together. So we had a diet with a team of the Sacred Plant Medicine Asia. She brought some plants, and we did a diet and had the retreats after the diet. And so it was good because in the first time they experienced and how it was. Because when you're holding ceremonies, there's a lot of energies that kind of poke into your vulnerabilities and weaknesses. And I found that when you have like an ally, a plant ally, for example, and you've dieted a plant that has become your partner in this kind of work, what happens is that you become stronger, and you like there's like this they help you a lot. And it's just so amazing because I don't have to deal with them in the ceremonies. Yeah. So so that happened. So we had so now I have plants, the dieta plants with me, and every time I do a retreat, like 5 days before that, I will diet. And I will explain later what are these plants that I diet. I will share that. So that, and I found out like every time, because of course it's still scary. You don't know what you will encounter. Even if we screen the participants, when there and so this is the secret. When I screen the participants and there's like entities that I can't handle, I don't accept them. Yeah. If they have psychological problems that I can't handle, I don't accept them. Yeah, if they have like certain psychosis or certain drugs in their history that I know they would still kind of do and can't get out of, then I don't accept that, because I it's hard um to hold a space when somebody keeps crashing the ceremony space. And so it kind of has an effect on other people who is trying to heal and trying to awaken. So that I kind of like, no, I already screened. But of course, you still don't know what comes. So the first thing that I realized, that I have to be very clean, that I have to be very strong. And so I do a diet 5 days, like 3 to 5 days before the ceremony. And whenever I do that, in the ceremonies, it's always quiet. Yeah, it's always quiet. And I think like some of the people here who've done ayahuasca with me, like and also, I don't know if my team is here, but like recently, what whenever I do this my own diet of the plants I dieted in Peru, like it's always, the ceremonies are always quiet, because the shaman, of course, I'm the shaman, I'm the one who attracts, I'm the magnet, I'm the first magnet of these energies and consciousness in the space, right? And the participants are just a reflection of that. So if I do my part in cleaning and dieting and connecting with the plants beforehand, what happens is I attract also the participants who have no problem so much, and also like the less the energies. And at the same time, I really see the plants helping me like hold the space and guard the space with me. Um, like the last ceremony I had before going to Peru, it was really amazing. Like ayahuasca just came and say, "Oh, May, I'm gonna be, I'm gonna like I'm gonna take over, and you just relax, just kind of make sure that the energy of this physical place is okay." And she did. Like I didn't. It wasn't very hard for me to hold this space. So something like that. So the diet is very. If you are in this path, is very important in that. Other than that, if you are dealing with certain issues in your life, sometimes an ayahuasca ceremony, a San Pedro ceremony, a mushroom ceremony is not enough, unfortunately, sometimes. For example, if you have an ancestral entity that has been there for a long time and it's now kind of like really attached to you, that's very hard to take out. You need a diet to loosen the grip. If you have some form like entities, or you have like certain issues, like Limon here is saying that my mom was diagnosed with breast cancer last December, and we're fifth chemo session this coming March. I'm sorry to hear that. So those kinds of conditions are really hard. It's not just one ayahuasca can solve everything, but sometimes miraculously, yes, there are amazing. I've witnessed amazing stories like that. In one ayahuasca ceremony, there was a person that I know that she came in the ceremony in a wheelchair and has this signed already this kind of waiver that if she dies, it's okay, because she's been very sick for a very, very long time. And after the retreat, she was already walking as if nothing happened. But she has been for years in that wheelchair. So sometimes, things happen miraculously by grace, but oftentimes there's some form of work that you need to do, because your certain conditions are multi-layered. It's not just one cause. There are different causes, and the dieting the plants can help you loosen or take away the different layers and reasons why this is or this situation has to happen. Yeah. So good evening to Rod and Julie. And yeah, um, so Lemon, if you can share to us, like, if she has considered, if your mom has considered, um, like going the plant medicine path in terms of her breast CA. I had a friend. She's gone now, but at the time she was in remission. Like she did a diet and she was totally healed. Yeah, and it was very good. And she lived for years after that, except that like she went come you got back into doing her old ways. And when the universe or the spirits give you the grace of a second chance, you have to really change the way you live. Yeah, but if you continue doing the things that you've been doing, and not integrating the new consciousness of being well, then yeah, that happens. That it happens that you go back to that go back to that state of sickness and illness, which means you didn't learn or you didn't integrate that learning. So yeah, it's sad, but yeah, maybe there's a purpose to that. Yeah. So let me know if you have questions. I will go to my experience before I share why I had to go to a diet. It's usually, for me, dieting is really good, as a person, not only as a practitioner or a facilitator, or it is really good when in life, because I do readings almost every day. I do classes, I do seances, and even with the most, I am trying to find a term, overzealous way of cleaning myself energetically, purifying myself daily, even with that, I have this routine when I wake up. It's yoga, cacao, and now I added rape and meditation and stuff before I even like have breakfast. That's my routine every day. And even with that, all kinds of cleansing and stuff, there's still accumulation that happen. Energetic accumulation, because when you do readings, there's always, or even not with readings, when you converse with somebody, there's always an energy exchange happening that you don't know. And this energetic exchange that we don't know accumulates over time, especially when we're ignoring it, especially when we're not aware, when we have like certain tendencies, even how small, it becomes a magnet to these energies. And over time, it kind of like accumulates. And it's good that every year or every period of time, not even as a practitioner, like every person, I feel that there will be a period of time that you need to stop, that you need to pause, and that you need to kind of like breathe and take away and clean this accumulation within your being. And that's the reason why I came to the first diet in 2017. I was a tarot reader for a very, 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 very long time. Yeah. And I do tarot like a lot of sessions over time. I used to, before COVID, I would do tarot. The minimum would be 7 in a day. Yeah. And the thing is, the accumulation of all these energies, plus my grief, because I lost my husband, and my grief was it's the whole, it's the vulnerability that made these energies kind of get past with like I wasn't willing to look into my grief. So now, like, it goes to my grief, like all these accumulation energies until voila. Yeah. That's the reason why a lot of women, you know, when they have a lot of repressed emotions, um, it usually stores in the chest, in the solar plexus, or in the heart. And what gets affected, Lemon, is the breast. And there was one psychic friend who already told me that when during the wake, like he already told me, um, she already told me, like, May, if you're not gonna cry and process your grief, you might have, breast cancer. He totally told me that, and then he kind of ushered me to a place where he allowed me to he allowed to hold the space for me to cry and grieve. But that wasn't enough, because after that I didn't grieve anymore. I was ignoring the grief. So the grief became a vulnerability and allowed these energies to accumulate within me, and voila, that's why it manifested. Plus, I had a death wish for myself at that time. So all of I mean, when you reach to the point of physicality, it's not just one thing always. It's always um, it's always different factors. It's not as simple as saying, like, oh, you have grief, then yeah, you have cancer. No, it's a different factors. Like, I had grief, I had like I was not taking care of myself. I had a death wish. I was always putting myself there in merging with other people's energy. Some of them, maybe I didn't kind of like cleanse myself. And over time and over years, that's what happened. Yeah. So now I become so proactive in cleaning myself. So even if you're not a practitioner, it would be really good. That's why a lot of people now are going to retreats. Yeah, because we feel it. We feel that we need to stop sometimes and breathe and look into ourselves. What have I accumulated? Why things are so heavy and dark now? Why? And being able to kind of have tools, and that's what the plant diet offered to me, tools for me to be able to release them. A medium once told me that bitterness, if not related, will be stored. Maybe I can like show the comments. Thank you for commenting. If not released, will be stored and can lead to liver cancer. Yeah, it can be. Liver is a storage of anger too. So when you are like angry all the time, expect that you will, like, one thing common among people with fatty liver is a lot of repressed anger and frustrated emotions in the liver. When it's about fear and anxiety, it's in the kidneys. Yeah, it's usually there that it's stored. Our body, especially our muscles, and store the emotions that we don't express or we don't process. Yeah, so they get stuck there, and in time they accumulate, and they when it's already transcending to the physicality, then it means like, okay, it's a lot to take. It's years of accumulation. It's not just a week or a month, it's years. Okay, so Lemon is sharing, Minawa Chako galing siya coma from California. Shinare niya trauma niya from pleasing her father. Gladly, na-met niyo sa spirit world yung tatay niya, tapos nalaman niya na mas malaking nakuhang role for soul ascension niya yung father niya. Okay. I didn't get it so much. So let me just dissect this. Na-meet niya sa spirit world yung tatay niya. Also, the tatay was dead. Yeah, actually. So it's a good, so this is how, because I also do ancestral healing. So let's segue a little bit. When our relatives kind of go to the other realm, and this relative somehow sometimes we think would be the cause of our suffering because they did something to us when we were children. Usually, like, they're also given tasks like to redeem themselves and to help the people that they have affected in this lifetime. So which means that what was happening is we're pulling each other up, right? So when they're on the other side, they kind of like guide you, and they do things to help you be pulled up. And when you do something that kind of makes you ascend, you also pull them up. So like um whenever there is an ancestor or a departed loved one, when that is somehow, let's say, on the other side, it helps, like, and you understand, and you have like forgiveness in your heart and connection with them, then you can see that you are actually helping each other, in this realm and the other realm. Yeah. Okay. I don't know about the past life, if it's I don't get this in my readings, but usually when it's in the left side, it's from the maternal or the feminine side, and when it's the right, it's usually from not the present, but mostly from the masculine side or for the father side. That I see and witness in the ancestral healing sessions. Okay, so let's go back to why. So knowing the story in the background. By the way, I'm wearing a Shipibo dress, and it's just hard to make you see the embroidery. It's amazing. And then also this peyote, because peyote, even if they have the same substance with San Pedro, is an entirely different spirit. I don't understand why. How is that happen possible? But like, but peyote is entirely a different energy as to San Pedro. It's entirely different, even if they have the same substance, which is the active ingredient is mescaline. So how amazing is that, isn't it? So I had last year, I went to Spain. I went to Europe, and one of the retreats that we conducted was in Spain, in Malaga, in Andalusia, Spain. And in this retreat, for some reason, there were a lot of energies and entities. And the month before that, just the month before that, the spirits granted me the wisdom and the authority to exercise, take away spirits from people. It's just, I didn't know why. It just happened. And even practice it with somebody, because somebody just said like, oh, can you drink ayahuasca, and because I can't drink ayahuasca, can you just drink and just take away the entities that is kind of like with me? And they said, okay, let's do that. And then I kind of like, he had a lot of entities and had to take them out the entire day. And now I thought like, oh, maybe this is the reason why they gave me this wisdom, and they gave me this authority to take away and to exercise energies and demons and stuff. But the real deal was in Spain, because it was like a lot, really a lot. And the whole night I was just taking away entities. But of course, I'm human. So at the end of the retreat, I knew I was wounded. I knew there was a wound somewhere in my energetic field. And actually, like, some of the people, I told them like, they were seeing me that I was healing myself, and I told them like, I have a wound and I need to take care of this. But then when I came back, so after that, I had several other retreats in Europe. And when I came back here, life happened, Christmas happened, and I forgot to take care of it. I forgot to take care so much of this wound. So, and I kind of like kept working. Even in New Year, I had the retreats. I just kept working and working, because for some reason I felt like there's a need to kind of like, to do this. And until like I felt that the pain was unbearable anymore. It was already very physical. It was not energetic. I couldn't sleep so much because not only of the pain, but because I don't know, there must be some entities, and I just didn't understand. So in before that, like I had already a kind of a deal with somebody to say like, okay, I'm gonna go to, because Naisha was organizing a diet, and I said, okay, may I earn my way through this diet, and so when I came back to the Philippines, and then I felt like I need to take this diet, which was happening in January in Peru. It was too late. The the fare was really, really high, like really high. Usually it was just 1,000 euros. It came up to 3,000 euros. So I said like, oh my God, I cannot afford this. So I kind of like told myself, okay, maybe I just need to heal on my own, do a diet of my own. I'm not going to do this anymore. It's like really expensive. And then for some reason, somebody kind of like say, okay, I will pay for your ticket, and you can pay me blah 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 later. And so I was, of course, I was very happy that happened. And I said like, okay, so the universe has already spoken. Then that's where I was like, in an instant I was there. Yeah. And even like after being there, the person who paid the ticket for me in one of the ceremonies just came to me and say like, oh May, I feel you don't need to pay for the ticket. I'm giving it for you as a gift. And I was shocked. It's like, oh my God, I really felt how I was really supported by the plants, and they really want me to heal. And so I did the dieta, and this time I did it was a different shaman. In the past, I always had um, a female Shipibo maestra, and this is the first time that I have a masculine maestro. No, and when they say maestro, these are really years and years of training. Like usually the Shipibo tribe, as soon as they turn puberty, they're already introduced to this plant medicine. It's embedded in their culture, and somehow they kind of like Esther is like the teacher. They can teach you. So if you see all the white people and all the other people, they're not Shipibo that are doing, or not Peruvian, or not South American, doing this stuff, and are fairly young. Most probably, they've been taught, but they have been taught by a maestro. Yeah. And so the maestro has the authority and only has the ability to give you a diet. Nobody, I cannot give you a diet. Other younger plant medicine facilitators cannot help you hold a diet, because it entails connection, and it entails activation of the plant for this plant to be able to have an effect on you. So the plants that you take sometimes do have a physical effect, like in the body, but more than that, they have an energetic and spiritual effect. So once that you connect with the plant on a day-to-day basis, just being alone in the jungle, blah blah, doing the connection, and then you do an ayahuasca ceremony with the shaman, like the effect is even more, and the teaching is even more. Yeah. So in my experience, so I told this so I've realized there are different ways to do diets, and this particular maestro, he's been in a long time in doing this path. He's gone up and down. He's been to the dark and to the light, and went back to the light. He's making amends. In the shamanic world, sometimes we lose our path and go to the dark and snared by the dark. But the greatest feat of this person, he was able to pull himself out, and now he's trying to make amends. And so I told him my problem, and he immediately knew what was the problem. So he gave me two new plants to diet, which is Marosa and Planta de Amor. And I was asking myself, like, okay, I already know love. I'm a love coach, and I've been like, what else could I, my ego, what else could I learn? But yeah, actually, the Planta de Amor taught me a lot of practical things that I was doing wrong in my life. And then all of them I've written in my journal, like how, so that I won't forget, because I keep forgetting. That's the thing. When we become conscious of something that we may have done wrongly, that has a bad outcome for ourselves, we learn from it, and it's more of a waking up, that sometimes, in if it's the first time that you learned it, that's good. But if you already learned it and you forgot it and then you did it again, the consequence is graver. So it's more of like, you cannot unlearn, or you cannot be unaware of something you are already aware of. So the universe is a way to give a bigger rock for you to handle when you've already given the grace of learning something, and then you kind of like forgotten about it. Yeah. So in the process, I've learned a lot, and it's just it's an amazing it was been an amazing it was very hard, because all the ayahuasca ceremonies, I was always being attacked by some energy, some entity, always attacked. Like, there was no ayahuasca ceremony that I wasn't attacked. It was more of like because it was my most weakest and vulnerable moment, because I was wounded, and because I wasn't eating, because then I won't have enough strength, and I need to be vulnerable enough to connect with the plant. And so the energies like took that as an opportunity to attack me. so so I knew, like, yeah, what I was dealing with, it was not nobody's fault except mine, or nobody's fault actually. Okay, so I'll tell you more stories of that experience, because there was some kind of an amazing experience that happened during that diet. Um, so I'll just tell you. Okay, respond first to Limon. Are babaylan possible din ba connected sa plant medicines? I believe that our forefathers, before the Spanish came, are connected to the plant medicines, because we do have plant medicines. There are this ayahuasca in the Philippines. Like, they're growing, we just don't know it, because we've lost our knowledge, our culture, and our heritage, being bombarded with like different not only yung mga being conquered, but also by other influences that we forgot. And if you go to Sagada, I even told the Shipibo Maestra, like, if she could go here in the Philippines, I will take her to Sagada, because they would look that, and then I will present her to the elders of Sagada. They would kind of like think they're sisters, because they look the same and they wear the same. They put this kind of weaved blanket on the bottom, as a skirt. And how would they how many miles apart, and they have the same culture? It's not a coincidence. I feel that we have this, but it's lost, and some people yeah, it's some people also have kind of like demonized our way of doing plant medicines, especially from the medical industry. I'm sorry to those doctors, but before, our ancestors were mainly using plant medicine. Our our version of doctors, the albularios, are actually shamans. Yeah, they're all actually like the curanderos who also use plant medicines to heal. Yeah, and it's not something that is learned because there was no transfer of information through a school. All of these, like the South Americans who learned this path, are all intuitive. It means that how did they learn this? The spirits connect with them, tell them this is how to heal the person. In the beginning of time, before the ayahuasca ceremonies were became popular, in the beginning of time, um, the shamans or the curanderos would take the ayahuasca or the plant medicine, go into that altered state, and the people would present the person who is sick. And then the plant medicine will tell the curandero, okay, you take this plant and this plant and this plant, you boil it, and then you give this to this person, and it will heal. And it works, yeah. And I feel it's the same with our albularios. Our babaylan or the priests or the priestesses or babaylan is a form of a shaman, but they're mostly kind of I don't know if they use substances or plants to go into the altered state, but I feel they are also like a spiritual, like they have a different dynamic because they're so connected to earth that they understand how earth is communicating with them. Yeah, and so they do rituals based on what earth needs, and that's what's happening in Sagada now. Whenever there is like a problem, they will close up all the tourist spots because they will do a ritual. Isn't it amazing that we still have that? Yeah. So putting intentions in water. Okay, it's a good. It's kind of a good question, Limon. Uh, the water, a little bit offset, but like off a little bit off topic, but like I can explain because a little bit touch a little bit about this because water is a vehicle of how these plants, come to our system. We are like mostly water, and so how we get the information or the DNA upgrades of Mother Earth through the teacher plants is through water because the water holds memory. I'll just show a little bit of, let me see if I can show you the water because this, so I'm going to show you some stuff. So this is like how it looked, my place when I came to Peru. This has been my dieta place. It's called the casita. And if you see, it's just so open. And the only thing that is barring me from all the other elements is a mosquito net. Yeah. And it doesn't have any electricity, no toilet, nothing whatsoever. So and it's just the only good part about this is that it has a hammock. Yeah. Let me see if I can show the hammock. And then, yeah, so the hammock is in video form. Oops. That's what I see. And then like the water. Yeah, I will show you the water. So you see, it's like the Philippines, but like it's in the middle of the jungle. And I'm showing this because in the diet in Peru, like that's my shower. this is my this is my bathroom. For the entire time that I was there. Yeah. So, and are the things that I see in the front. Yeah. That's my hammock. And the best part, I was, and this is the birds. Let me see. Yeah, the birds that I see. And this is the rivers that I have to cross. so that I can go to that spot where I can shower. Yeah. I have to cross a river. Yeah. And what else? Yeah, so this is the place where I kind of sit down and do my journal. Um, and the best part was that the casita was surrounded by cacao plants. But because it was surrounded by cacao plants, then there is a lot of mosquitoes. Yeah. Why? Because I've learned that the mosquitoes are the ones that pollinate cacao. I don't know if people know that, but that's, and I did a cacao workshop in the Cacao Museum in Cusco, and they explained to me, May, it's not the hummingbird or it's not the butterflies that pollinate cacao, it's the mosquitoes. So wherever there is a cacao tree, there is always a mosquito. Okay. Yeah, so that's how yeah, it's a little bit hard because you can't put chemicals in your body, so you have to, like, after whenever I hear the cicadas already and the sun is going down, I kind of already hide in my bed and put down a mosquito net. Because I know, and even that, there would be small mosquitoes that can come in, and I would be full of bites. It's okay. That's part of the experience. Yeah. So the water, when I had the San Pedro ceremony. We had the San Pedro ceremony, and they kind of like told us, like, okay, you can go to your casita. So mind you, the casita, I'm the only one there. Like, the other casita is very, very far away, some of them up in the mountain, where you see there's a mountain, you have to go up. So I was lucky, I was near the river, and I was just, but I'm alone. Like, nobody, there's nobody else. I'm just there in the middle of the jungle. Yeah. And so they told us, like, okay, you can go back into your casita and you can kind of connect with San Pedro. And it was very amazing. San Pedro connected with me and taught me a lot and helped me heal myself and heal my relationships and my family. And then San Pedro told me I have to go to the water, and so I had to cross those rivers. It takes me 15 to 20 minutes to arrive to that place. And it's not like it's like up and down. You have to go up and down the rocks and whatnots to reach that spot. And when I reached that spot, it dawned on me that, like, the water, and we knew this, that the water contains memory. And it kind of like being in the state of San Pedro, I realized, like, oh my God, I am in a place, and this water contains all the memories of the ancient past, of the of the people who used to do this plant medicine a long time ago. I was like, wow, like, all of the kind of memories are there, and I'm soaking in it, and I'm bathing in it. And so it was, for me at the time, was like, wow, a mind-blowing like experience. Yeah. So this is also something that made me realize how important, like, the water we have in our lives. You see, Lemon, the water we have now in the city are also corrupted. Even if you program it sometimes is not as much as when you go to nature and get the water, that is rich in information and memory of the plants, rich in memory of a deeper history. Do you get what I'm saying? If you go to Misaru Emoto's experiment, if that's what you're thinking, yes, you can program water, but if your water isn't pure, and when I say purity is not just about making it drinkable, purity is about making the energy pure. Yeah? Because it's like a like it's because it's like a hard drive that you need to restart, and you need to kind of like, yeah, you need not really restart but erase all the other memories there, so that you can have a pure intention that can go inside your body. Unfortunately, the water in the city is not pure energetically. So the the fresh water and the mountain streams are actually the best water to program. So here in the Philippines, there's a lot of freshwater springs we have that we take for granted, and that's why they call it miraculous. Like when you go to Banahaw, the water there is still relatively pure and relatively very healing, because it goes through the mountain, and we actually have like ayahuasca and plant medicines around that mountain that people just don't know. It's the plant medicines are there because we have erased memory. So yeah, that's the reason why it's a very healing. Okay, so going further, if you have other questions and you want to be interested, so that being in contact with water, something happened there, because there was the remember this person who actually who sponsored my ticket. He gave me as a gift. He came uh, like to that same spot at the same, like relatively a few minutes apart that I came, and he caught me where I was just sitting on the rock, and I was so afraid because earlier he said he was bitten by a snake uh, in that area. So I was so afraid that I couldn't like really step into the water, and I was just on the rock on the waterfall, and I was like crying, and San Pedro was telling me like, May, you have to brace your fears, you have to face it, and blah blah. And I was like, what do you need to face it? And I was praying and praying like, God, please help me, send a person to help me to help me overcome this fear of snake. Yeah. And then lo and behold, after a few minutes, the guy who gave me the gift of the airplane fare came, and then he did help me. He said like, but the snake is not in the water, the snake is on the side, on the river. So that gave me like a lot of assurance. And then we talked a little bit, blah blah. And as we were getting out of the water, I think it's around 45 minutes that we were in the water talking about our experiences in San Pedro. As we were going out, suddenly I had like, I was in some kind of in between. I was in the past, in the present, and I was in the future in that moment. And I understood later on it's because of the water. It's because of the water, the memory of the water kind of like converged. And I saw how the people lived there in the past, how it looked like in the past. I saw the future of this person, of this person, and I was also in the present. So I was kind of like, wow, I'm seeing all of this. And then when I came back to the casita, then it hit me, all the memories that I was there in the past life. So I was there in the past life. That's why like somehow I felt very supported, very pushed to go there, even if I had no means. It was because I needed to be there, like that. I saw how I was, and lo and behold, I saw that this guy was my father in the past life. He was my father when we were there in that exact spot. And then San Pedro told me, because San Pedro is a father spirit, that's always connected to the father. And he said, whenever that you ask the universe for help, you know. That's the reason why he is always there to help you, because he was your father. And it was like, I like cried. I like really cried um the whole time after that until I slept, you know. And it was like so grateful, and so much love and support. And after that, I told this guy like, "Oh, you were my father," you know. And from then on, we kind of like developed like a good friendship with him. We even traveled with our partners together to in Cusco. It was amazing, and I know somehow that was one of the purpose. And the thing is, this guy had also a very good story. He was there because he was trying to heal his what do you call it, MS. MS is um, multiple sclerosis. Yeah, it's something like in the nerve, you know, it's in the brain. And he was at the point where in the past that he couldn't function, think and function anymore. But because of ayahuasca and because of the plant medicine, like he was got better. And the purpose of me being there and seeing his future, because he wasn't sure that he will live long. But then in the future, I saw that he would be living uh, very old. I told him, "This is what I see, how you look like, and this is what your state's gonna be." And I didn't know he has a problem, but it gave him like some form of assurance, and gave him some form of confirmation, like, "Oh, I'm gonna get well because I'm gonna live long." So I think that was the purpose also why he was there. I was there, was to orchestrate that. So it's amazing like how these situations um kind of like happen, isn't it? It's like, wow. I was amazed by the handiwork of the spirits, how they made this story unfold, and I was in the middle of experiencing it. It's just amazing. Yeah. um okay, so Asa, yeah, if to do the dieta in Peru, we have I'm organizing for those Filipinos. I know it's a little bit costly to go to Peru, but I do encourage us to go there because I feel it will connect us. I feel there's a connection of the Filipino culture, or Filipino per se, in terms of DNA. I feel we have a connection to Peru. It's just so uncanny. Whenever I'm there, everybody thinks I'm Peruvian. It was People will come up to me, talk to me in Spanish, and I would be like, wait, 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 no habla español, English, English, and they would kind of like get disappointed because they thought I'm Peruvian, and I feel like we do have some form of connection and root there, and like also to experience this kind of healing is a little bit more profound than any kind of healing that I've kind of encountered. And before ayahuasca, I was in involved in different wellness centers. So somehow, like, I've tried a lot of kind of healing, although there are a lot of new healing modalities now. And this is like really a really profound way to heal and to awaken. And I encourage everyone not only to do it, but to do there for healing, and to do there for kind of a more profound connection and awakening of consciousness. And why? Because we need a collective, a number of people who are awakened and conscious to help our country to go to the next level. Yeah, we need that. Uh, we need that. So I'm like coming, like praying that like, oh, somehow that we can, because we can go to that level. And if you can go to Peru to experience it firsthand by the people who are really trained, and the people who are already who has been brought up doing this, would kind of give you a more authentic experience of what plant medicine is. Yeah, so I'm organizing by in a group of people who wants to experience this diet. So you wouldn't, because Peru is a very big place, and there's a lot of course, there are good practitioners and there's also bad practitioners. There are authentic ones and there are those. It's a mixture. So the reason why I'm trying to kind of create a group to take to Peru is so that we would be sure that the person, the shamans who will be handling you, you will get what you need, or I mean, you will be handled in a way that you wouldn't be either madaya or or mislead, yeah, and all those things, because those things I'm telling you are also possible. They're- because it's a jungle, literally a jungle out there, and this has been commercialized uh, by the foreigners so much that it has become a lucrative business. Of course, there would be shamans that always look out as a business rather than as a mission to heal. Of course, there would be like that. So that's gonna be happening in January of 2026. If you are um, interested, yeah, just let me know. Okay, so um, moving forward, I have still another amazing um, story. Thank you for staying with me for 1 hour and 27 minutes already. I'm going to share to you the different plants that I've dieted, that and the functions of these plants, so that you can understand and a little bit of what I'm talking about. So the very first plant that I ever dieted is called ajo sacha. So ajo sacha, we have that in the Philippines. People don't know it's a master plant. It's called the garlic vine. Yeah, the garlic vine. I bought it from an art. It's like a vine with purple flowers. It smells like garlic. And I bought this plant in, like, I tried to kind of uh, plant this plant in my balcony. Unfortunately, when I went to Europe, when I came back, um, they failed to water the garlic vine and it died. But it can be bought, and it is available in the Philippines for some, and people don't know it. But it's considered as an ornamental plant in the Philippines. Yeah. So ahosacha, the main function. Hi, Elizabeth. Yes, I've, we've been together in Spain, yeah, and also in Sweden. How are you? And so now, what are the Aosacha is a cleanser plant. It cleans your energy, but at the same time, it's also a very protective plant as well. So there are also plants like tobacco. People don't know that tobacco, but not the tobacco of the Philippines, because the tobacco of the Philippines is mostly our Nicotina virginia. That's the name, which is usually the commercial. It's usually the ones that used commercially. The ones that are considered as that they use in Peru is called Nicotina rustica, and it's the called mapacho. Yeah. Do I have one? I have, like, so usually they're kind of like made this. I can't have it, but I couldn't find it. Ah, there. So in real life, it's like this. Yeah. But they usually pack it like this. Yeah. And tobacco, these are just the leaves. What makes it carcinogenic is when you put chemicals to process the tobacco, or you also put the barks and twigs of the tobacco, that's the one that's carcinogenic. But if it's not the leaves of Nicotina rustica, it's a very healthy plant. We use the tobacco as really for protection. I think some people diet tobacco, but I haven't dieted tobacco. But I did a tobacco ceremony and a tobacco purge. Purge meaning like you drink tobacco and then you drink a lot of water and you purge out a lot of entities and energies, and especially entities that cause addiction. That's what the purpose of tobacco is. For Ausacha, it's more of cleaning generally your energy. And it is also very like they use the other parts of Ausacha as a flower bath, like they put it on the bath, and then you take a bath with it, and it becomes very very protective. Like once that the spirits smell it, the Ausacha, because it smells like garlic, they stay away. Yeah. Then the second plant I dieted in the past is Ergon Sacha. And Ergon Sacha is with the head of red flower. Um, it's usually used in the Amazon to treat snake bites, which is very important. But energetically, it helps you clean your sexual energies. So that's what Ergon Sacha. So usually you diet, when you do the diet, you first go with the house sacha, and then you go to Ergon Sacha. And then the next that I dieted is Chirik Sanango. So Chirik Sanango is a purple plant. It's a purple flower plant. Sometimes there's white. And I know we have that here in the Philippines. It's just hard to kind of like delineate because they look so similar. But Chirik Sanango is very good in terms of protection. For me, this is the plant that healed me from my lumps. You know, he was the he I say. So plants are usually like neutrally gender, like gender is neutral. They both have masculine and feminine, but sometimes like they express themselves more in a certain energy. Like for example, Hergonsacha is more female. Yeah, ayahuasca is female. San Pedro is more masculine. But they also have they both have masculine and feminine. So Chirik Sanango for me is very masculine. And he was the plant spirit that told me that in the first diet that I was almost irreparable. My body was almost irreparable. Like he just said like, your body is almost irreparable. It's so hard to heal it. And I said like, what? Why? And then he showed me why. Because I hosted a lot of energies and entities that has accumulated along the way because of what I was doing. I was doing seances, I was doing readings, and sometimes when you kind of channel certain ghosts and spirits and entities, their energy stays with you if you don't kind of like take care of it. So he was telling me, it was almost repairable. And then there were also like psychic vampires. Vampires are those sometimes in my case it was people. I had clients who kind of wanted to connect with my energy, and unconsciously they were taking away energy when they needed it. So that kind of like put me in that state. So he was actually the one who healed me from this. So I'm very, very thankful with like Chirik Sanango. And then there's like Remo Caspi. Remo Caspi is also a very protective plant, just like Chuchuwasi. And these are all protective plants. Plants that kind of teach you how to sing. Icaros is Ayauma, And I also had other plants like Suelda Consuelda, Auskiera. This Auskiera is like Ausacha that also cleans. And then there is like a plant that I dieted that helps me lucid dream. So this is an amazing plant. It's called Guayusa, although it gives you a lot of energy, but it gives me like lucid dream and gives me some form of warning when there's something not good that's going to happen. And of course, Marosa and Planta de Amor. These are very, very good plants that kind of connects you with the heart, as well as Bobinsana. So Bobinsana, I bought some Bobinsana in Peru. I took it here, and I'm planning to make it as a tea. So in the next cacao ceremony, where we will be do a lot of singing, I will be serving, aside from cacao, also Bobinsana. So bobinsana is a heart opener, like cacao. Cacao actually is a heart connector. Yeah, a heart connector. It connects you to the heart, whereas bobinsana, it opens and stretches your heart. And not only that, bobinsana is usually has the energy of the mermaid, and you would hear songs about bobinsana, like being a mermaid, and being a mermaid energy, like it helps you sing. So whenever I drink bobinsana, and I am in the ceremony, like sometimes I sing and I get amazed by the quality of the vibration that is brought out, because it, like bobinsana helps you like really sing. So yeah, so this is an amazing feminine plant that I really want to introduce to the Philippines. It's not all of these plants I'm saying are not psychedelic, so they're safe, and they're legal. But I feel some of them, we have it here. It's just that we don't know so much. So if anybody here knows botany, let me know, and then we can kind of like find this in our own jungle, for example. So let me flex a little bit of the cacao that's gonna happen on, I think this is next week. It's on Sunday. So we do cacao ceremonies, for those who doesn't know. Um, Not only me, but also the sacred other facilitators of the sacred plant medicine. But this time we'll be coming together to do like I was inspired by the Pisak and the Sacred Valley vibe, where they do cacao with singing and kirtan. Kirtan is actually a mantra, a way of chanting and singing mantras. It's usually from ancient India, Vedic Indian tradition, but it's more of like you sing in out of the devotion and in the purpose of kind of glorifying God, and it's like it's like in the charismatic. It's like that, but except that you do mantras. And these mantras kind of connect to different energies or aspects of the divine. And so when you use this, when you sing to connect to God, it helps a lot when you do cacao. Yeah. So because it helps you connect your to your heart when you sing, right? And at the same time, when you have bobinsana, then it helps like not only will you be connected to your heart, but now bobinsana will kind of stretch your heart and make you express even more. So it's a very good combination. Now I am into what you call Indian snuff or rapé. I've encountered this kind of medicine. It's something that you like. There is an applicator. I don't know. It's a powder made of ashes of different herbs, and then you kind of like blow it to your nose. Yeah, and um, in the past, I didn't really like this practice because a lot of people abuse it. So um, it is very addictive because it has some of these powders have what you call this, tobacco, and these ashes are usually created by the tribe. So every tribe has their own rape concoction or blend of herbs, and what it does, it kind of like clears, your energy. For me, it helps clear my nerves and clear my mind, like so that I can connect even more. In the past, I didn't like this because the people who gave rape to me, I could feel the energy that they when they give it to me, and I don't like it. So I kind of like swore at that time, like I'm not gonna do this practice. But in the new age plant medicine kind of practice in the groups here in the Philippines, they do practice a lot, and most of them has abused it. Yeah, and when you abuse it, it also has kind of effects here on the lining of your nostril. It can actually cause aneurysm if it's done improperly. And so for a very long time, Mind you, I started in 2015. It's been 10 years. So I only appreciated rape when I met this teacher in Spain, and his name is Oscar. And Oscar will be coming here this this year. So if you want to connect with him for the rape tobacco ceremony and plant medicine ceremony retreats, let me know, because we are discreet about this. So he's coming here. He's Peruvian. He's amazing. He explained in the ceremony how sacred, rape is, and the sacred way to do it. And I knew from the beginning that only the initiated can give rape to you, because it's not just about blowing this stuff, but it's giving also this energy. It's sharing this energy with it. And so how beautiful he explained it to me. And I started doing it with his guidance. And now I'm starting the initiation path with his guidance. And I'm sharing that rape, which means that in the cacao ceremony on the 16th, I will be also giving rape for those who might be interested, especially people who are always in the mind, cannot get out of the mind. That becomes a blockage in connecting with the heart. And so, yeah, this cacao ceremony is a combination of this wonderful, wonderful, different medicines that are available for us to connect and be more. Yes, Asa said, I'd love to meet Oscar. And I'd love for you to meet Oscar too. Yeah. Sabi ni Rod, masakit lang sa ilong. Yes, especially, Rod, if it's not given by an initiated person, and it's not given, or if you don't know what to do, if you're the one doing it to yourself, if you don't know anything about how to do it, then don't. It's really masakit talaga siya. But in my experience, how the people who are really into this path, because it's a practice on its own, knows exactly what kind of blow that you need for what purpose and exact amount and all the things. Yeah. So that's why I started so I thought this practice is something that always abused, but now I met this teacher that does it. So, and it has its benefits. So yeah, that's the cacao. If you're interested, just message me, or maybe I can go. Let me see. You can go to shopsoulfully.com, search Kirtan Jam. There, you can see it. I can maybe give you the link in the feed. Yeah. Oy, Jackie, buntis ka na ba? Manganganak ka na ba? Kasi your question is, okay lang po ba na mag-dieta after manganak? When Tepe said, "Ooh, that's me." What is you, Tep? Jackie, yes. It is hard to do a diet when you're pregnant. So yes, it's good to have a diet after you give birth. But the problem is, who would take care of the baby? Yeah, because on the diet you need to be in isolation, meaning you have to leave the baby behind. Okay, Bin Soy says, looking forward to have a rapid session with Oscar. Yes. Okay, so come here when he comes. Is it true, Jackie? Are you pregnant already? Congratulations! Dahil dyan. Congrats, Jackie! I'm so happy. I'm so happy. So that you are finally. Parang ngayon mo lang sinabi. So we will. And yeah, Lisa is saying congrats, Jackie. Ikaw na susunod, Lisa. Huwag ka mag-alala. Ikaw na susunod. And then ako. Char. And then so it's I've learned how to self-apply it over time, not an overnight thing, but once you get it right, it's no longer painful to the nose and it just goes smoothly. Yes, Asa, there is a process in doing this as well if you want to get initiated. And then there is a period where you need to stop because sometimes the stopping point is more of to help you get balanced. And then at the same time, like because it's addictive, so sometimes like rapé will test you. If you're addicted to it, then it's also not like um, a good practice when you can't, when you are, there's also another energy that takes hold of that addiction. So instead of becoming a good practice for you, it becomes now uh, a connection to a certain dependency. So that's why uh, there is a process, and it would be good that you would undergo the initiation if you feel that it is something that is really for you. Okay, so a lot of people are saying congrats. Blockage sa mind. So punta ka dito sa ano. You can go here during the cacao ceremony. On the 16th, then I give also the rapé, and it's in a very so you can experience it, how it will help you. And for those who are part of the plant medicine community, I'm actually offering it for free. Yeah, for those who are part of the plant medicine community. Okay, I'm happy for Jackie and everybody's congratulations. What the way to announce it to the world, you know? Okay, so yeah, that was the I will before I share the other experience, wonderful experience I had in the diet that I just experienced in Peru. I would like to flex because I promised to flex uh, a certain. There is a center. It's called Enchant. It's a new space called Enchante Safe Space. If you're in the south, like in Muntinlupa, exactly, you can check out. They do natal readings. It's a space for people like us who are very interested in spirituality and stuff. So check them out. So we need to kind of support the people who are trying to create good spaces for us. We need more of that because if you see our environment, especially in the city, it's not a good. It's not good anymore. So we encourage and support. Going to the spaces where people are now creating a lot of these spaces. So one of them today I saw is in Enchante Safe Space in Muntinlupa. You can go to their Facebook and see, and then one day I will go there. So yung gustong sumama sa akin, let me know. Okay? Let me know. Okay, so now we're 1 hour and 49 minutes. We've been talking a lot. I hope you can also talk. So this happened like in the second to the last ceremony, I think. In the dieta. By the way, all the story about all of the things I've discovered, and especially the teachings that they gave me, I wanted to write it down. I still didn't have time, but I wrote down a lot of it in my journal. I just need to create to summarize or to kind of integrate them so you can also benefit from the teachings and learnings of the plant. It's amazing. I feel that what they taught me can also help people, because like Planta de Amor really kind of like gave a lot of practical stuff, even if it was a plant of love. Yeah. And I've learned that Planta de Amor is it's not just one plant, it's a combination of different plants. So yeah, sometimes you can diet. Like for example, I've dieted Agua Florida. Agua Florida is a collection of different flowers. Yeah, and there is also a certain diet and a certain ikoro that the maestro Shipibo shaman taught me. Yeah. You have other questions? Now if you don't have questions, I will share this amazing experience. So I thought because it was second to the last ceremony of the whole diet, I thought it was okay. And that I've kind of I felt really physically, I felt really okay, energetically, mentally, psychologically, emotionally, I was okay, And then during the ceremony, I was still dieting Planta de Amor because this shaman kind of this shaman, his practice is that you have to diet one plant for 1 to 3 months, at least 1 month to 3 months. So I couldn't stay that long there, or my dog will be depressed. So in that time, when the ceremony started, there was a lot of negative thoughts coming in and negative things sticking in my head. And I was saying to myself, oh my God, do I really have these lots of entities and energies in my head and negative thoughts? It doesn't feel like me, but now I'm discovering this. So how come, I was telling myself, how come I didn't know this? Yeah. And then the way the shaman does the ceremony is that every time he opens the ceremony, each one of you would come to the center and lie down, and he would sing and heal each one. Yeah, he would sing every ceremony. He does that. It's amazing. So when it was my time to lay down and be healed, suddenly I saw my mom inside my body. I saw my mom inside my body, and I felt it wasn't me that is being healed. It was my mom, and I couldn't explain it. No, I couldn't explain how this is possible. My mom is not here. Although with me, this is what happens to me sometimes in the ceremonies. When I do ceremonies and there's somebody that needs to be healed, ayahuasca would ask me to lie down, and then she would whatever the physical condition of that person, it would go to my body. I would feel it, and then she would kind of guide my hand, and kind of like my hand will travel everywhere in my body to kind of heal it or take away the entity or whatever, to repair whatever that needs to be repaired. That is common to me, but it is because in the ceremony the person is there. Yeah, but this time my mom wasn't in Peru. I'm then she's in my body, and I could see it clearly, and he was talk, and he was singing, and it was focusing on healing my mom. And then ayahuasca came, and then she told me, you see, we had an agreement. And I forgot about the agreement, because there was one time I asked ayahuasca, because my mom was kind of forgetting things, it's pre-Alzheimer's kind of, or pre-dementia because of old age. And I asked ayahuasca, how can I heal my mother? And ayahuasca said, you give me to her, give her 1 teaspoon of me every day, because ayahuasca in the studies shows that she does the effect is neurogenesis, and that's the reason why this past life father is being healed, because he took ayahuasca every day, 1 teaspoon, and it kind of healed his MS. Yeah, amazing, right? So she was telling me, please give me 1 teaspoon, give her. But I said but it will be a big issue in my family. Plus it's I don't know, in terms of legality, it's a little bit blurry now, because people, our police, FBI, NBI, whatever, has a concept that these medicines are not good. So it's going to be a little bit troubled. So I asked ayahuasca if I could heal for her, if I can take ayahuasca for her. And I forgot about that I asked her that, and she said yes. So every time that you would take me, she said, then I would, then we can direct the healing to her. But because I was busy holding this space, that I didn't have time for me to do that. And when I was in Peru, because it was my healing, and like amazingly, like this shaman was healing my mother. So when I came back to my mat after that, I was already crying because I realized like ayahuasca was kind of like, um, she remembered our agreement, and she did, she did her bargain. And then she told me like to take out, she taught me how to take out all these entities in the brain. Yeah. And now, and the problem of my mom is that she couldn't really sleep and at night. And now she could sleep, except that she would wake up because of a different problem, because she has to pee. But then now at least she could sleep. And she said she felt better. So that uh, was another amazing testimony from, of healing, not of myself, that you can also heal somebody else far from you that is connected with you. So yeah, um that experience of ayahuasca, of the plant medicines, of San Pedro, just really did a lot of healing for me. And yeah, I can adjust, because coming here, it takes me 3 to 4 days to travel just to come here. So I'm a little bit like, it took me a little bit of time to adjust, but I feel that, yeah, like I don't feel the pain, the energetic pain before coming there. I don't feel the physical pain anymore. So I feel that I'm really healed. That's how amazing. It's not just about healing, but also there's a lot I've learned that I couldn't get from any book. So there is a question here. Did you connect with any animals? Okay. Did I connect with any animal? Before, in the ayahuasca Ramon, in other ceremonies, I would connect to this very big snake. It's a very, very big yellow snake, like very big, like and it showed me that this snake was part of like the real earth. When you say the real earth, the earth that we live in is like a hologram, and underneath that hologram is the real earth, and it's just all water. And in that water, there's this snake that lives and can come in and out of the matrix of this reality and that reality. And during the ceremonies, this yellow snake will come to me and tell me things about a lot of different things, and I would ask a lot of questions, and the snake would answer. And it's a very docile, very kind energy of snake. We usually associate snakes as a very evil or whatever, but this was like, I know that this snake was kind of not sinister, not malevolent, nor not deceptive. This snake I knew is a very wise snake that has been there for a long, 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 long time. So that I could say, that is the only animal that I've ever connected in the ayahuasca ceremonies. Yeah, most of the others are more of animal like, but actually are ETs. So what else? Yeah, I haven't connected with other animals in the ceremonies. Okay, hello, Paulo. And Elizabeth says, wow, that's breathtaking. Thank you. And Aisa says, how happy for you. Yes, thank you so much. Also, very happy. So, yeah, the next part of my trip after this diet, and I know was going to Cusco. Cusco was something else. and Machu Picchu was something else. And so just show the, I will show some. So I think I can show it here. Uh, I know. How do I show it? Like this, maybe. Yeah. So that's a top view of the ruins of Machu Picchu. And Machu Picchu is like an ancient site uh, uh, where the Incas live. Yeah, the Incas live there a long, long, long time ago. And I didn't want to get a tourist guide because I didn't want to be biased. It's like I want to go there and connect. It was very curious. And when I went there was this woman that looked like Nora Honor, but the young one, young Nora Honor, that's how she looked like. She's not fair skinned. She was dark skinned, and she looked like she has these eyes that look like Nora Honor. And she has a kid, and she was carrying a basket, and that was on like the handle of the basket was on her head, and the kid was tied up on her neck with a blanket, and she was like doing that, and she kind of like um connected with me. And Lisa is saying like waiting for that story. He is saying that I look really well, thank you. um so I will also write this down, this story. And then she was showing me where I was in the top of the mountain overlooking the picture that I showed you. And she was showing me this uh like red berries. I don't know. I still don't know what it is at this moment, because some people say it might be a coffee and some says it's pepper. Uh, so I don't know what that is. And she said like, actually, she's told me, she said like, we're still alive. Some of us are still alive. We're still here. It's just that you can't see us. We are in a different density. That's what she said. And if you take this, she was like showing me this twigs with berries, then you can connect with us. Yeah. So it was like, whoa, amazing. And then like she showed like how like in the middle of the mount, like they have entrances going in the mountain. But there were places there where they also like somehow storage things, or people also live there or something like that. And she showed me how people come in and out of the mountain. And so and then um, we went to the different temples. And I didn't get anything out of that until the time that I kind of went to this place where I was let me see, where I was already. Let me see if I can show it. The place where I think it's in the I think it's I saved it here. Let me just, where you can see through like the mountains. Yeah, where you can see the mountains. It's in a video clip. Let me look for it a little bit, and I couldn't see it. Maybe I could see it in my Facebook. So in that, we went to the Temple of the Sun, the Temple of the Condor, and those kinds of stuff. I was amazed by the water system that they were able to create. And but you know what?
Okay.
Whoops! What
Okay.
really made me connect. So you could hear some of. I'm looking for the place where you can see the mountain, because I took a picture of it just so I could remember that this is it. Just, yeah. Let me share it. Is this it? No, it's not. Ah, no. This is it. Okay, finally found it. Sorry about that. Um, oh, I can do this. Yeah, there you go. So you see, like I'm in this edge and I could see the mountains there. Yeah. And it was there that I started becoming like very, very emotional, um, because uh, they showed me how, like, first the spirit asked me to do an offering, and I did an offering. Luckily, I had Palo Santo. I had some of the my my companion had coca leaves, and then I had some what do you call this, copal and mapacho, and we made an offering. They said like, "Oh, make an offering," and after that offering, then suddenly they gave me this memory where I used to live there. Again, it was in the past life, I was somehow like some form of princess, because they showed me like I was a woman and I was uh, in charge of the temples, and that I was they were showing me how, like, they were showing me a lot of things. One of There was this, like, after the offering, the first vision that came to me was a man that looked like a bird, and then I realized that, like, oh, it's a condor. And then a condor is something that the Incas also revered, as one of the deities. And then they showed me, uh, saying that, these mountains are actually contact points to the spirit, to the different realms. So they said, like, this mountain is for the spiritual, the upper realm. This mountain is for the middle realm, and this mountain is for the lower realm. So they're saying, like, there were different animals that are kind of. I wasn't in any psychedelic, or I wasn't in any ayahuasca. I just had cacao that time. Okay, so, and then they showed me that this there was this snake that's connected to the lower realm, and there was this another one. I forgot which animal it was that was connected to this middle realm, and there was this condor that was connected to the higher realm. And so the condor was the one who connected with me, and, like, and showed me that they're up there in the mountain. I don't know what that means, but they're all up there, but we couldn't see it. So it's just like, huh? Okay, what does that mean? So, which means they're still looking down on us. They're still alive. And the thing is, they said that we're calling on all the couples and all the people, because some of these beings will be incarnating in this realm. So they need mothers. Lisa, are you listening? They need mothers to host their children, so that they can incarnate in this realm. That's what they said. So, and then for some reason, I became so emotional. And then they showed me where I was this princess who kind of was in charge of the offerings in the temples for some reason. And the person that I was with was a warrior during this time. And they showed me where the warriors usually stay, where the priests stay. They showed me how the temple, the sun temple, like there's like this light that comes from the sun, and they would know when is the right time to do a certain ritual. Yeah. So and they kind of base the rituals according to the movement of the sun, and they face the way it's constructed. They all face like the mountain, because those are the connection portals. Yeah, and so I was blown away by this information. I started like researching, and then I learned that actually the temple of the sun is in that exact point where it tells you when is the solstice and when is And yeah, those kinds of, and whenever that they it's a solstice, then they do rituals. So it's like amazing that like these information kind of checked out. So I was like feeling so emotional because the condor was saying, I'm going to give you a gift. I'm going to give you a gift. Not here because you're not yet ready to receive the gift, but I'm going to give you a gift. Yeah. So we wondered what this gift was. And after that trip, like we stayed in Pisac, the Sacred Valley, a very nice place, a place where I wanted to really kind of um, let's just say if I would rest, I would be there. I have plans of like staying there for a longer period of time. Um, and yeah, I did in one of the cacao kirtan events there, I did receive a gift. Like it was given to me, like it's a golden energy that was kind of handed over. And I don't know what it was, but it was given by this big blue being. It's very big, and the place was very high with a very high ceiling. It was like a church dome. And it gave me this, and I was just like not in that not suddenly the physical reality didn't exist anymore, and I saw this blue being, very big being, and then it gave me this golden energy. Yeah, and that was a gift. Until now I don't understand what it is. But it's a good I'm presuming it's a good energy, so maybe I'll update you in the future what it is. Yeah, so that's um those are the mystical experience in just a short span of time. There's been like bam bam one experience after another. That's how amazing, that's how amazing Peru is, and how amazing the Amazon is. And so I want to share this experience because the Filipinos, us, or even those non-Filipinos, like we deserve to kind of experience. We need this kind of experiences, especially when we're trying to find a direction in life. We're trying to find healing, and the thing is, sometimes we can only do so much in the environment that we're given, that we need to deal with. We really sometimes need to go out to certain places where there is a lot of rich spiritual connection still, so that we can also benefit from it. And that's why i'm I'm sharing this as well, because I couldn't believe, like of that I would be coming there for the third time. Like first time is already like I'm so grateful. Second time, like wow, I'm so very, very grateful. And now the third time, like it's even more. Like I feel like every time I go to Peru is something else. And maybe it's my connection, but I do feel that it's something that you need to um, that you can explore and experience if you feel that there's still something missing in your life. And I get so filled up by all of these wonderful experiences, especially when you do. And I feel the reason why I'm able to kind of experience this is because of the diets, going back to the diet. Yeah, connecting with the plant. So, uh, what do the role of the plants, as I mentioned earlier, is to upgrade us, to teach us a new way of being. We've been so um, attached to our old way of being, and now, if you are one of those people's one of those people who feel like everything is somehow um, like everything in your life is toppling over, which I am experiencing now. I feel like I'm experiencing a lot of transitions, a lot of things that I used to do before, I can't do now. I can't, the things that I used to, the consciousness I had before, I feel like I can't go back there anymore. So if you are one of those people who are stuck and you need a form of upliftment, yeah, then you can do like my, aside from connecting with the plant medicines like ayahuasca and San Pedro or the mushrooms or bufo or iboga, I feel what can benefit you more is really going on this um, explorative inner journey of dieting with the plants and connecting and exploring yourself and learning. And that will help you a lot to be given, I feel like you're given tools to adapt to the new way of life for this earth. And the ones that can survive in the next chapters of Mother Earth are those who are upgraded, like who are connected with her and upgraded with her information and her DNA. That's how I feel. Because there, if you notice, there are still threats, not only of the global war, but war consciousness, threats of like diseases and outbreaks. Now they're trying to revive a very, very old, like ancient dinosaur kind of virus, and we don't know what's gonna happen. And again, if they do that and it gets out, you see that we can't stop humans from being so quote unquote explorative and sometimes creating fatal mistakes, annihilating our species in a process. But if I feel that when we are connected with the plants, that we are can heal, that we can awaken, and we can have a new way of being. So that's what I want to impart to everyone in sharing my experiences with the plant medicine. I'm also very humble that the plants, spirits, and all the spirits and God and Mother Earth have kind of like connived to for me to have this experience. It's amazing. And that's why I want to share it to everyone. So Lisa is saying, I watched their history. I was so amazed. Now that you're telling the story, now I understand how they use the structure of their temple and what they are for. Yeah, I learned from my past life father because he also went there. He said that their tour guide was saying that this was also Machu Picchu was also some kind of school. It didn't the history of the Incas, is not really a very pure one. When it became there was this certain Incan, like very famous Incan emperor. The first Incan emperor was more of trying to kind of conquer the different tribes to expand its territory. So what it did is came to the tribes and said, I'm not going to fight you. I'm not going to destroy you, but I get your children. And he's like, what? That's horrific. I get your children. And he gets the children and indoctrinates them. And he put them there in the Machu Picchu. Yeah. So they do have, and then there was also like some kind of emperor that he kind of stopped doing he stopped doing the conquering and started building. So that's why there's now a lot of structures. And the amazing part is all of their, like when you go to Cusco, they built this wall, stacked wall that looks so much how the pyramids are made. And the thing is, when the Spanish came, what they did is they built a church on top of it in Cusco. And the way that they built it doesn't even match how the Incas created that wall. So you could see like half of the church would be the wall the Incas made, and then half would be the wall that the Spanish made. And if you look at the difference, it's like this is sloppy. This is like really nice. It has like very precise. And how do they do this? It's amazing. And I feel that they're also like some form of advanced civilization we don't know. So that's how amazing this culture is. Yeah. Okay, so it's 2 hours and 20 minutes. If there are any other questions, that's my. If there anything you want to learn about the plants that heal, that teach, and awaken, again, in the beginning of this, I've shared the part one. So there's a lot of information there already. And so I didn't want to repeat that. And so you can also watch that afterwards if you want to learn and know how ayahuasca ceremony is conducted, how's the the experiences of my ayahuasca and San Pedro, and how I came to this path. Yeah, so you can go there, and then this is more of like a continuation of the plants that heal, teach, and awaken. We have plants in the Philippines like Towe. Towe is actually the angel's trumpet, right? And there's a lot of Towe. The thing is, people think that so this is it. No, Towe is like when you go to Sagada, there's a lot of Towe. It's like a angel's trumpet. It's called angel's trumpet. And since people kind of heard like, oh, Towe is psychedelic and it can blah blah blah, so they started experimenting, like on their own, making it into a tea and drinking it. And unfortunately, for some people, it made them go to psychosis. And the question is why? And the thing is, the lack of information is that there are only certain color of Towe that you can use that is safe, that you can have the effect without losing it. So the thing is, like, that's the problem when there is a little information that is shared, that people who are very brave would experiment, and then it might cause their demise. And I've met a person who did this and couldn't come back, like until now, like it's in psychosis. And the brother was telling me like what happened to his brother because of trying this kind of Towe. And I asked him what color was the flower of the Towe, and then he didn't remember. So yeah, so we have these plants, and I'm sure in the past, the South American people have died for experimenting. But if you ask how were they able to devise that such plant does this, aside from experimenting, is because the connection with the plant. Again, they're the ones who tell you, you do this, you drink this, and it will lead you this. Yeah, it's very exact and it's very amazing. So I don't focus on the Google, because sometimes Google, and there's also books about the plants, by the way, but it's in Spanish. So you can learn from that. It's coming from other experiences, but nothing beats when you learn from experience and you learn with the plant connection. Yeah. So I hope I was able to share something that is worthy of kind of able to inspire you. To inspire you to kind of connect with the plants even more. Oh, there is a Mary Rose. Last time you also asked this question. I remember. How can someone discern if someone is ready for ayahuasca? When there is no fear, Mary Rose. A lot of people feel that they're called, but then they have a lot of fear in them. I tell them, better wait until better wait that you've managed your fear, or you feel that you can brave through that fear, then you'd be ready for ayahuasca. Of course, there is a preparation 2 weeks before taking ayahuasca. In a ceremony, you need 2 weeks of preparation, of not eating certain stuff, not taking certain stuff, not doing certain stuff. Yeah, but the decision to do ayahuasca would depend on the feeling. Your number one, you're called. Number two is when you have fear, let kind of not wait until when very sure you don't have fear. Okay, because fear will kind of like mess things up in your connection. Jackie says thank you, and yes, Jackie, I would like to hear more from you. I'm so happy for you. Thank you so much for sharing your story. Thank you for listening. uh, and Evelina as well. Thank you as well. Yeah. And Ramon, is it possible to connect separately with ayahuasca and the chacruna? Okay. There is chacruna rape, you know. But the thing is, um, chacruna is the one actually with the DMT. And ayahuasca is the one with MAOI. Yeah. So what it does is like for example, when you do changa, Ramon, like it only lasts 15 minutes. Like goes up and then it goes down. What ayahuasca does is kind of like make the DMT delayed. It delays the DMT, so it makes the journey longer. That's why it lasts 4 to 6 hours. It's because that's the function of ayahuasca, making the DMT prolong the level of DMT in your brain, and physiologically that's the effect. So if you separate them and you just take ayahuasca, the vine, what you get is the neurogenic effect, the physical neurogenesis. Okay, not the psychedelic effect. If you just take the chacruna, then you would have a vision, but it would just last for a few minutes, for example, or few time. Then taking them together. That's why it's a perfect combination, the both of them together. Yeah. So that's why they're together. But you can there's a lot of, I didn't see this. So then you could try Ramon. So, and then what happened here? I skipped some people. Sorry. Elizabeth says, I'm so happy to see you feel authenticity and beauty. So grateful for your sharing with the cacao ceremony online too. Yes, Elizabeth, you can join online. Yeah. Thank you, Elizabeth. Thank you, Petra. Thanks, Mary Rose. Thank you, Janelle. Do you have ayahuasca retreat? I will not answer that. If you're just interested in the ayahuasca retreat, just PM me. Or alternatively, I'm gonna kind of send this link. Sorry if I'm sending a lot of links. It's just to make things easier for everyone. Yeah. My and you can find more information about the events and stuff, including that here in this link. Yeah. So thank you for reminding me. And it's not happening. Oh, there. Did it go? So discovering Arnie, thank you for sharing your experiences. Thank you as well. Yeah. There. It's sent now. So yes, thank you very much for hanging out with me and having this discussion. I hope to see you in one of the events or anytime in session. Thank you, Ramon, thank you for following the journey. And hopefully, Ramon, you can also come to Peru. It's really nice. It's like a once in a lifetime experience. But for me, it's been the third time. It's even even more. So thank you so much. And let's just stay in our, let's do I usually do like a gratitude kind of exercise, like where we breathe through our hearts. When we breathe through our hearts and connect to our hearts, all the things that we have acquired through this sharing is integrated in the heart, that you don't need to remember everything. It just kind of like integrates in the heart, and the heart knows where to put it in our system. And as we breathe in our heart, we become grateful to all the people who has brought us to this time and place, to this situation, to this moment. We also thank all the spirits and the spirit guides and our departed loved ones and our ancestors, our angels, our avatars, our teachers, Mother Earth, and above all, God. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And may all the information that we need to remember be stored in our being, that we can access it when we need it at the right time for the right purpose. Breathing in and out, and also feeling that all unbeneficial energies are sent down to the ground, and we retain only that is beneficial for us, for our highest evolution, for our purpose, for our alignment, and our mission. Breathing in and out, so be it, so be it, and so be it. Yeah, there you go. Thank you so much. And I want it now. We just have to plan the live. Yeah. Yeah, okay. Thank you so much, everybody, for hearing me out and letting me share these stories and this journey. And next time, uh, next month, I will be doing again a live, and I will be discussing soul origin. So, like today, the spirits told me that I have to discuss about soul origin, so you would understand where you come from as a soul, because this is the question that I always hear from the Akashic readings. So better we can discuss about this next time. So keep tuned and see you soon. I love you all. Bye bye. Bye bye.